Hello and welcome to the Northern Network's Marketing 101 series. For this webinar, we'll be talking about social media and how you can use it for your Green Community Hub. So as an overview of the session, we'll start with a short introduction and then we'll head into 5 different sections with a couple of short breaks in between. So firstly, we'll talk about what social media actually is and why it's useful for Green Community Hubs. We'll discuss how to get started and we'll go over the basics of 3 social media platforms. So that's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll signpost some guides on each of these. We'll have a quick break before coming back to talk about how you run your social media account. So we'll look at setting out a strategy and a content plan, and I'll share some resources on that too. And then finally, we'll look at going further, including the use of data and insights and social media advertising. Then we'll finish off with some bonus tips. So by way of introduction then, here's a bit of some context, I guess, for this session. This is part of a series of webinars that's been created for the Northern Network. If you don't know already, the Northern Network is a groundwork initiative that seeks to connect green community hubs across the north of England in order to share resources and learning and to increase capacity. So this training programme, which we've called Marketing 101, it focuses on the basics of marketing and communication. So this really is a beginner's guide, if you like. And there'll be other sessions as well on things like local press, on branding, communications and email marketing, and on creating marketing materials. And these will all come out over the next few months. You can find lots of other free events and training sessions from the Northern Network as well. So covering all sorts of different topics, just visit the website for more information. And then to introduce myself, my name is Amy and I'm the Marketing and Communications Officer for the Northern Network. So my job is to build, market and grow the network. And I've been with Groundwork since the start of this project, which began in September last year. But I've been working in marketing for a long time, actually, at a number of different places, ranging from a small local heritage centre run almost entirely by volunteers, and which had a real sort of local community aspect to it, to Story House in Chester, which is a sort of large theatre, library and cinema complex, and then more recently at Jodrell Bank, which is a bit different. It's a deep space radio observatory. It's a very interesting place. So, over that time, I've managed lots of social media accounts. And as I'm sure you can imagine, I've also seen a lot of change and development in social media. It really is an ever-evolving medium for marketing, which can make it quite challenging, but it keeps it interesting, I guess. So let's get into it then. What is social media? Okay, so I've got a handy definition here from Google, who say that it's any tool that enables users to create and share content publicly. But I'm sure you all use it actually, so you know exactly what it is. And the reason I know you're already using it is because there are literally billions of people on social media, and the chances that you're not one of them are pretty slim. So according to sort of latest statistics, there's well over half the entire global population on social media. It's 4.5 billion people. But in the UK, which is a bit more relevant for us, there are currently 57 million social media users. That's 92% of the UK population, and 70% of them are checking their accounts at least once a day. So, social media really has become like an integral part of our daily lives. It's revolutionized the way we communicate and share information and connect with people. And it's also therefore become a really powerful tool for like all manner of businesses, organizations and community groups or green hubs, large or small, to reach their target audience and to promote their work. So, just by the potential of those numbers and the sheer scale of social media, there's already a clear benefit for getting your green hub online. So by posting content on social media, your green hub could reach people who may not have heard of it before, right? And that's a common metric in social media marketing. Reach is the total number of people that see your social media posts. So for you, that might be, potentially reaching new volunteers, new partners or funders, and so on. And this is all about increasing awareness of your hub and your work. But there are other benefits too. So social media also offers opportunities for you to engage with people. And engagement is a metric of how many people are interacting with your content. So people that are liking or commenting or sharing your social media posts. So this is about you engaging with all of those people that you reach. So it's a level up from making them aware of your hub. This is about getting them to interact with you online, and you can help build engagement through the type of content that you post, but also by responding to comments and messages and so on. And just the act of engagement is useful because it helps people feel more connected with you and your work. So they don't just know about it, they feel involved with it. And this all helps you to build community. And that's the business we're in, right? So by reaching the right audiences, sharing content that engages them, you can start to bring together like-minded people who share your values and beliefs. So then, it becomes easier for you to bring that online community offline into your hub. You've built this sort of engaged target audience to promote your work to. And this all sort of ultimately helps you create a bustling green community hub at your space. So we've learned that there are billions of people on social media and that we can reach them, engage them, and create a community around them. But it might be useful to sort of understand where exactly on social media they are, because there's lots of different platforms out there. So here's a bit more data, and this chart shows the most used social media platforms in the UK right now. And what we're going to do is just focus in on those top three, and those ones there in the darker green, and I'll go through each of them and give you a bit of an overview. So we'll start with Facebook. Facebook is sort of like the founding do-it-all platform. And if you're not on social media at all with your Green Hub, but you want to start somewhere, I would suggest starting here. So Facebook, it has become the standard social media channel, and it's very likely that many of your connections are already here in somewhere or other. It's the biggest platform, it offers the biggest potential reach for you, but it also has lots of tools for building engagement. Its primary audience is majority sort of 30+ age groups, but not exclusively. Everyone's there, including young people. They are still on Facebook. So there are kind of three key things that are relevant for you with Facebook. You can create a Facebook page, which is like a public profile that allows you to share information, photos, and videos with your followers. And in fact, Facebook pages can act as a kind of mini website, actually. So you can include lots of, like about information, like your contact details, location, and so on. So it can be like a cost-effective way of doing what you think you might need a website to do. And Facebook also allows you to create events, which can help you attract people to attend activities at your hub. And Facebook groups can be really great too. So this is about enabling those that are connected to your hub already to sort of talk to each other online. So this is a great tool for community building. And so if you haven't already set up a Facebook page, Facebook have like a really helpful guide to pages, and I put a link to this here. But even if you already have, it might be good to check this guide because it's relatively new information. They've recently made some changes to how you manage pages, so you might want to take a look. And I've also included some information here about Facebook groups because this is really quite helpful. And again, even if you're already running a Facebook group, this guide gives you sort of some tips and ideas on how to manage and grow your group, as well as things like moderating the chat in your group, which could be quite important. So then let's move on to Instagram. So Instagram is quite different. It's more of a sort of visual storytelling platform that's best used for sharing images and short form videos. So its purpose really is enable you to share like visually engaging content and to help you perhaps reach like a slightly more younger demographic. So the audience is primarily sort of 20 to 35-ish. There's a lot of young parents on Instagram. It does lean more towards a female audience. Also, sort of creatives and influencers use it a lot. And you'll find there are lots of sort of Instagram communities. So this is a great way for you to connect with others, and not just about building your own community, actually, but also to get involved in others that share the same sort of values or aspirations as you. Great place for inspiration and ideas. So Instagram allows you to create a sort of public profile, and from there you can post a range of visual content. So most commonly and sort of displayed on the Instagram grid are image or video posts accompanied by captions and hashtags. But Instagram also allows you to post stories, as does Facebook, actually, by the way. And these are like temporary posts that disappear after 24 hours. You can also create reels, which are video posts, and you can make and edit these in the Instagram app really easily. So you don't need other equipment or software, and you can add like filters and stickers and text and other effects. And you can also do Instagram lives. So these are like live recordings. It's going to be much longer in duration. So there's lots of ways to sort of engage audiences on Instagram. And again, then, so if you want to set up an Instagram account, I've got a sort of a pointer here to some information about how to do that. And then last one, let's look at Twitter. So Twitter is the place where you can tweet out your news, updates, thoughts, opinions in sort of short, succinct, like bulletins. So little short tweets that sort of summarize what's going on in your Green Hub. But you can also really easily engage a conversation with others on Twitter. And it's a great way to share like real-time communication. So perhaps you could live tweet an event, to really build a sense of excitement around it. Twitter's sort of primary audience is slightly older than Instagram, 25 to 50-ish. It's also slightly more male. But Twitter's often used by like professionals for their work. So if you're hoping to engage with like local organizations or people who work for local charities, like potential partners perhaps, then this might be really good for that. And a bit like Instagram, you create a Twitter profile and you share your tweets from there. Twitter, again, like Instagram, allows you to sort of mention other users. And this is a great way to start a conversation. You sort of tag someone into your tweets. And then Twitter is really well known for its use of hashtags. And again, these are big on Instagram too. But using a hashtag could just help other people find your content. It's a way of sort of increasing your reach. And then as before, if you haven't yet and you want to set up a Twitter account, there's some information here for you to do that. So that brings us to the end of part one. So we've covered our introduction. We've looked at what social media is and how it can help us reach and engage a community online. And we've explored how you might get started with 3 different platforms. So we're going to have a short break and then we'll come back to talk about strategy and content planning. Okay, I'll see you shortly.